Boa tarde a todos. Obrigada e parabéns, Mario e Gonzalo. My name is Daniel Kuiter, EMYA Judge. Bem-vindo à cerimônia de entrega dos prêmios EMYA.
Good evening and welcome to the 47th Annual European Museum of the Year Awards taking place here in beautiful Portimão. My name is Mathieu Viocouville, EMYA Judge as well, and if you're also joining us online, welcome to what has been an exciting conference over the past 2 days. We want to start by thanking the municipality of Portimão and also our friends at the Portimão Museum and for the wonderful welcoming us here in their beautiful city and the organization of the conference in collaboration with our colleagues here at the Municipal Theatre. Let's all give them a big round of applause.
So the conference has been inspiring thanks to your passion and enthusiasm as participants and representatives of this year's 15 nominated museums. But now we've reached the night where we've all been waiting for, the highlight of EMYA 2024, the award ceremony. The European Museum of the Year Award is the longest running competition in the museum field. The EMYA is an important indicator of new developments, trends, and innovations. And it is also a great way, of course, to meet each other and to exchange.
And as your host tonight, we're going to have the pleasure of welcoming many colleagues and friends on stage. And we want to start with the first person to formally launch the 2024 EMYA ceremony. So we would like to welcome on stage the Mayor of Portimão. Please welcome Mr. Álvaro Vila.
Estimados membros do European Museum Forum, membros do júri EMYA 2024, museus nomeados para o EMYA 2024, caras e caros convidados. Boa tarde a todos. É uma enorme honra partilhar um momento para todos vós e um momento-chave de um evento que acarinhamos desde a primeira hora e que faça aqui votos públicos e o desejo que se prolongue por muitos e bons anos. Esta parceria que estabelecemos em 2018 com o European Museum Forum para acolher em Portimão o secretariado e o arquivo daquilo que é o mais prestigiado Prémio Museológico Europeu tem aqui o seu ponto alto. Estamos muito felizes e temos sido palco, aliás, neste mesmo palco, onde agora me encontro, a mostra da discussão sobre 50 museus que foram escolhidos como um exemplo, inovação e progresso no setor da cultura. E a beleza disto não reside simplesmente no facto destes valores não se resumirem somente à aplicação das novas tecnologias e matérias expositivas, mas sim por representarem, sobretudo, histórias, narrativas que nos retratam o verdadeiro espírito de pessoas, lugares, coleções e situações abordadas. Gostaria igualmente de parabenizar a European Museum Forum pela relevância e sentido de oportunidade na escolha do tema para a conferência que teve lugar na nossa cidade. Museus em busca do impacto social. Uma vez que o nosso Museu de Portimão tem sido um bom exemplo da fuga do clichê dos museus como um mero repositório de objetos antigos, aos quais dão um valor monetário e económico. Felizmente, o trabalho desenvolvido desde 2008 é reconhecido pelo Conselho da Europa em 2010, tem vindo a aproximar-se cada vez mais da população e o Museu de Portimão, sendo destacar, entre outros, o trabalho feito nas freguesias limítrofes do Conselho, com a dinamização de iniciativas e um conjunto com a comunidade local, como é o caso da nossa cultura Sai à Rua, na Mexilhoeira Grande, ou recentemente a reabilitação do Salva-Vidas de Alvor e o Núcleo Museológico, um trabalho feito com a comunidade e em volta da comunidade. Por estas e por outras ações de cabo destes quase 16 anos e cuja realização deste evento tem um epílogo hoje e uma grande prova disso, aproveito a oportunidade para, perdoem-me a imodéstia, reconhecer o trabalho da nossa equipa do Museu de Portimão, para que peço uma pequena salva de palmas para eles. Nos tempos que correm, instituições como os museus são essenciais para espalhar valores como os direitos humanos, democracia e inclusão. Muito nos honra, por isso, que a European Museum Forum tenha escolhido Portimão para patrono do prémio que permeia as melhores práticas de acolhimento, a inclusão e a pertença. Saímos de casa e vamos visitar um museu. Saímos do nosso país, uns por possibilidade própria, para efeitos de lazer e ou enriquecimento cultural. Outros porque a vida dos seus países de origem assim o obrigou. E sabemos que teremos um museu como um ponto seguro para reflexão, observação e contemplação. Que os museus continuem a representar um farol para a democracia e para os direitos humanos, para as questões identitárias, sem no sentido tóxico e que se, por vezes, conotar com este conceito. Esta noite serão distinguidos todos os museus nomeados presentes aqui nesta sala. Mas mesmo que não saiam daqui distinguidos, fiquem com a certeza de que o vosso trabalho conta e é importante e vital na sociedade que nos integram. Parabéns a todos e um grande bem-aja por estarem em Portimão. Muito obrigado a todos.
Thank you, Mr. Villa, for these warm words. I'm now pleased to announce tonight's second speaker, who has been involved in this organization for a few years now, since last year as the chair of the European Museum Forum. He's also director of the MUBA, Barcelona City History Museum, where last year's awards ceremony took place. Let's give us a warm applause to Joan Daca.
Dear Mayor, dear Vice President of the City Council of Portimão, dear parliamentaries of the Council of Europe, other authorities, dear museum team, dear friends, after 2 days of an intensive conference, we thought a lot while here they were showing their best. Thank you. We now come to the award ceremony with the prizes decided after a long and careful evaluation process by the EMYA judges. That's very important. There are lots of prizes for museums in Europe. No one is judged and evaluated as the EMYA Awards. But bear in mind, EMYA Awards is plural. It's not only the European Museum of the Year Award and the Council of Europe Museum Prize. Not at all. The other awards are of no less importance, focusing on particular aspects of the work of museums today. As I tried to say at the beginning of the conference, first day, the awards really give us a global vision that fuses democracy, social justice, and museums. I'll repeat it many times. These are values that we cannot take for granted today, and that we must continue to defend continually. Especially, we cannot forget it, and we have seen it here those days, the fear of war are increasing. Through these awards, we seek to defend museums bestowing even greater prestige on their everyday life and work. Museums outside the museum. Our real goal is to be profitable outside. And all this is even more important when authoritarianism, not only war, have returned to Europe. As Jette Sandel said last year, the EMYA award scheme responds to long-term societal changes, as well as current urgent social issues, and reflects the challenges, obligations, and opportunities which museums face in the 21st century. That's important. Perhaps you get an award this year, or you are nominated this year, and that's really profitable 10 years after. So combining short-term and long-term, it's the way of building Europe through the culture. Once again, as I said, we must thank the Council of Europe, represented here this year by Mariluz Martínez Seijo from Spain and Andreas Griffroy from Belgium, for their cooperation. They are interested in creating a debate, a parliamentary debate about the protection of museums for democracy, as they are interested in melting museums and education as the two legs of culture for everybody in Europe. Thanks also to our sponsors and institutional partners, Portimão, Sileto, Mayvert, Museum Studio, ICOM, now again with our institution, and the many museum associations and national correspondents all over the continent. That's the important thing when a network is a kind of galaxy of points connected. Without them, we would not be here. Finally, thanks also to all the people who make this ceremony possible, from the participants, speakers, and musicians, to, after we'll go somewhere else, the cooks, cleaners, and waiters. We must not forget people making possible that we'll have a fantastic dinner. And thanks to all of you for coming, which in many cases entailed a long journey. Thanks to Portimão, now we know Portugal much better. What we do here reinforces democracy and Europe, as said, perhaps even more than our knowledge of museums, innovations, and qualities. We are going outside the museums, through the museums, and this is great. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. The European Museum Forum has maintained for many years a strong collaboration and partnership with the Council of Europe. With the rich economic, social, and cultural diversity of its 46 member states, the Council of Europe focuses on safeguarding and promoting human rights, democracy, and the rule of law. It is within this framework that the Council of Europe Museum Prize has been awarded continuously since 1977 by the Committee on Culture, Science, Education, and Media, and following the recommendation of the EMYA jury. Based on the recommendations, this year's Council of Europe Museum Prize winner was announced in December, and the formal ceremony was held in Strasbourg in April. And you've already heard from this year's ceremony, award winner, the Sibir Memorial Museum in Poland. And as Joan mentioned, we are delighted to have with us two representatives from the Committee on Culture, Science, Education and Media from the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, Ms. Luz Martinez Seijo, member of the National Congress of Spain and also chair of the Subcommittee of Culture, Education and Democratic Values of the Council of Europe, and Mr. Andries Griffroy, a member of the Belgian state. To tell you more about the Council of Europe Museum Prize, please join me in welcoming Ms. Martinez Seijo.
Thank you very much, Mayor, dear guest, EMYA board, directors. It is a real pleasure to be with you today at this wonderful gala that represents so much talent, history, culture, traditions, legacy, and heritage that the European civilization has built and that lies in your hands. It is an honor to represent, together with my colleague, Mr. Griffroy, the Council of Europe at this gala, because this is a privilege to be part of the first European institution, the responsible for the defense of human rights and human dignity since 1949. We have more objectives, but all of them are aimed at achieving more justice, greater well-being, more and better citizenship, to strengthen our democratic system, principles that make us better people and greater politicians. However, it has been many years that extreme liberalism does not allow too much space to reflect on these principles, values, and priorities. Today, I would like to share with you a growing concern, because despite these noble objectives of institutions such as the Council of Europe, we have open wars in the world, in Gaza and another in our own continent, where human rights are being violated, where Ukrainian culture and identity are being erased. Friends, this world does not learn, but we must not give up trying. And this is where museums have a fundamental role to play, because the memory that they preserve in their premises is an essential tool to ensure that it is not forgotten, is passed on to future generations, and is accessible to young and old people alike. Today, I am proud and delighted to present this year's winner of the Council of Europe Museum Prize 2024, the Sibir Memorial Museum in Białystok. My sincere congratulations to Professor Wojciech Sleciński and his team. Sibir Memorial is a wonderful museum, and I can affirm that values, memories, and history it displays in its spaces represent all these objectives of the Council of Europe. And this is why it persuaded us, members of the Culture and Education Committee, to choose it as this year's winner. It is a very powerful image of history and reconciliation that awakens emotions in the new generations and thus helps them then to understand a terrible history that must be prevented from happening again in the future. This is the basis of historical memory and laws such as the one in my country, Spain, which promote historical memory and reparation to restore dignity to the victims. For me, Civil Memorial Museum also represents this alliance with the work we do in the Council, and on this occasion, it fits like a glove with the report I'm working on, the role of remembrance sites and education for democratic values. That is, to promote a proper approach to historical memory. Sibir Memorial Museum is also a model of how research should be supported in making its mission more attractive to society, building knowledge and engaging the younger generations, and represent as well the autonomy, yes, autonomy, that must exist in the fields of culture, science, and knowledge. Finally, I would like to emphasize the sensitivity of the museum in depicting the pain, the deportations to Siberia, the massacres, the struggle for survival, the leaving behind personal objects, and as people fled from the horror. the Sibir Memorial Museum conquered us because it is also a museum of sensations, because of its delicate way of showing the contrast between the cruelty of the horror and emotions. I am a real fan of the role that museums play, because history sadly repeats itself. And in the effort to avoid it, museums such as the Sibir Memorial play an exceptional role. Thank you very much, my audience, and congratulations once again. So please, Mr. Sletinsky, come to the stage.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, when I hear this is a great honor to participate in such ceremony, especially as a winner of the Council of Europe Prize 2024, the oldest European award. This is a distinction to the whole Memorial Museum team, all people who have been created our museum all the years. I would like to express my gratitude to every person who has got any impact in our museum. Although the Sibir Memorial Museum is a Polish museum, it shows history of the whole Eastern Europe, experience with the crime of totalitarian system such as communism. This is not only Polish memory, but the heritage of the whole Europe, which we should remember. I would like to say special thanks to the whole team of EMYA Award, for President, European Museum Forum, and for whole judges. And of course, a lot of thanks for members of Council Europe, especially for 2 members who are here with us. Thanks for this award.
Congratulations once more, Sibir Memorial Museum. So we're getting closer now. Being a judge is a very rewarding task with great responsibilities. With 10 of us, you can imagine that different perspectives enrich us and challenge us to engage with each other's ways of seeing things. The role of the chair is crucial to keeping our group of passionate museum people on track. We are gifted with a great and inspiring chair. Let me now introduce to you Amina Gravovac, Executive Director of the War Childhood Museum in Sarajevo, a former Council of Europe Museum Prize winner, and who has led the jury through the process of this year's judging.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you, Matthew. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for making the EMYA 24 memorable conference. In my introductory speech at the opening session of the conference, I expressed an aspiration and a hope that we depart from Portimão inspired, connected, that we depart Portimão empowered to instigate positive changes with our audiences and communities. And from all the conversations I've been having in the past days with many of you, I dare to conclude that we may have achieved that goal. So thank you all for that. During the conference, we have seen and heard about power and potential of museums to respond within their capacities to social injustices, past and ongoing traumatic events, to colonial legacies, to protect cultural heritage in the face of armed conflicts, and in the face of many other man-made and natural disasters. So all these examples and all the contributions we heard on excellent and innovative museum practices across the continent prompt us to acknowledge that our endeavors within the realm of museums and cultural institutions extend far beyond our confined physical spaces. While we have to acknowledge that it's true that the direct and easily measurable societal impact of museums may appear somewhat limited, it is through our collective efforts that we have the potential to catalyze broader societal transformations. In light of the tumultuous times we are facing, this seems to be particularly important. It is easy to feel overwhelmed by the constant barrage of troubling news and the potential for current political crises and conflicts to escalate worldwide. It is precisely now that we may need to remind ourselves our work matters, and we can give our contributions, no matter how insignificant they may seem and feel at times. So even in this chaos and adversity, we can and should think of the ways to inspire resilience, positive change, and hope in our communities. The awards that we are announcing tonight are run by the European Museum Forum that was founded 47 years ago, on the principles of supporting, encouraging, awarding, and showcasing excellence and innovation in the museum field. In line with these principles, the awards awarded under this program aim to promote excellence and innovation in public quality of museum practice and exchange of ideas and sustainable best practices within the sector. The different awards within the EMYA program reflect and highlight different aspects and dimensions of the values of the European Museum Forum. So I will now lead us through all the awards just to remind us all what is it that we are awarding tonight. So the European Museum of the Year Award goes to a museum which contributes profoundly to our understanding of the world, as well as to the development of new paradigms and professional standards in museums. Within a distinctive overall atmosphere, the winning museum shows creative and imaginative approaches to the production of knowledge, to interpretation, presentation, and social responsibility, all from a transparent base of core values of democracy, human rights, intercultural dialogue, commitments to sustainability, a practice of inclusion and community participation, and a recognition of conflicts and the courage needed to confront them. The Council of Europe Museum Prize, we have already heard, but I will again remind us all what it stands for, is awarded to a museum that has contributed significantly to upholding human rights and democratic citizenship, to broadening knowledge and understanding of contemporary societal issues, and to bridging cultures by encouraging intercultural dialogue or overcoming social and political borders. The Kenneth Hudson Award for Institutional Courage and Professional Integrity, which is named in honor of the founder of EMYA, is given by the European Museum Forum Board to a museum, a group, or an individual, not necessarily EMYA nominee. And it is for celebrating courageous, at times controversial museum practices that challenge and expand common perceptions and the role and responsibilities of museum in society. The next one is Sileto Prize for Community Participation and Engagement. It is sponsored by the Sileto Trust and celebrates a deep, continuous, and empowering involvement between a museum and its stakeholders that places the museum as a point of orientation and reference at the center of its communities, whether these be local, national, global, or otherwise defined. We are at the Portimão Museum Prize now, very, let's say, relevant for this evening considering that we are all here. So the Portimão Museum Prize for Welcoming, Inclusion and Belonging is sponsored by the municipality of Portimão and celebrates a friendly atmosphere of inclusion where all elements of the museum, its physical environment, its human qualities, its displays and public programs contribute to making everyone feel they are valued and respected and belong in the museum. As the last one, we have the Mayward Museum Prize for Environmental Sustainability. It is sponsored by Mayward and goes to a museum which allows an exceptional commitment to reflecting and addressing issues of sustainability and environmental health in its collecting, documentation, displays, and public programming, as well as in the management of its own social, financial, and physical resources. Every year, we also award a number of special commendations to museums that have developed a new and innovative approach in specific aspects of their work, of their public service, and from which other European museums can learn. This 47th EMYA competition has brought visibility to 50 excellent museums, which have been nominated for different awards. Tonight, as every year in this competition, only a certain number of nominated museums will be the winners of these significant prizes we just heard about, and of special commendations for 2024. The challenge of selecting awardees among all of you outstanding museums has made the decision-making process for the jury incredibly difficult. So before passing on to the first announcement of the specially commended museums for this year, I would like to thank my fellow judges for the lively and productive debates to reach what we believe are fair and just decisions. For this year, the jury awarded 6 special commendations to museums that have developed new and innovative approach in specific aspects of their public service and from which other European museums can learn. I would now like to invite my dear colleague Atle Faye, EMYA judge from Norway, to join me on the stage so that we can together award the special commendations. Atle, please join.
Yeah, now it begins. As Amina said, we will hand out 6 special commendations, and the winners will get a diploma. We will also ask the winners to be standing here and shine. That makes it possible to take a group photo. Yeah. This is the envelope. The first one. I think it's time to start. You have been waiting long enough. The first museum engages and enables audiences inside and outside the museum, fostering new skills through creative ways to teach young people responsibility and ethically, and making the experience fun and memorable. Its co-curator exhibition and workshop with local artists, engineers, and cultural mediators nurture children's curiosity, creativity, and self-expression, enabling them to reflect critically and discover the world's contemporary issues and trends. The first special commendation goes to Museu Children's Museum, Vienna, Austria.
Congratulations to Museum Vienna, and the second special commendation goes to an art museum that promotes critical reflection and sets professional standards for best intersectional practice. Its curatorial approach challenges the very canon that it has historically contributed to establishing as a national museum, fragmenting its narrative and interweaving the many cultural threads lost to art, historical and visual national memory. The second commendation goes to National Museum of Art, Architecture and Design, Oslo, Norway.
The third is a museum that has innovatively returned to object-based learning by centering the agency of the people's stories and memories connected to the objects. This is a particularly moving place to rethink the relationships between place, nature, and how generation works through difficult events. This museum now focuses on a cultural approach to recalling people's experience of a volcano natural disaster, and its worldwide repositions is admirable. The prize goes to the memorial of 1902 in Franck, a Parrot Museum, Martinique, France.
The next special commendation goes to a museum that is an example of how industrial heritage can be used in a participatory way to enhance the skills of its visitors and make STEM inclusive and connected to contemporary society. Visitors will find various exhibitions, events, workshops, and hands-on activities, making this Manufacturing History Museum a dynamic place for creativity, acquiring new skills, experimentation, and cooperation. Do you recognize? Museum of Making, Derby, United Kingdom.
The fifth special commendation is a museum that believes in the power and strong personal narratives of remembrance, that human stories are central to ensuring visitors remember the hundreds of thousands who perished at the Polish extermination camp during the Holocaust. Using personal belongings found proves an especially effective curatorial strategy to restore the victim's identity and humanity at this museum and memorial site. And the prize goes to the museum and memorial in Sobór, Poland.
The sixth and final commendation goes to an art museum that demonstrates a commitment to rethinking the art institution as a place for dialogue, feeling, playing, experimenting, and creating. Its education and public programs show exemplary consideration towards not only making art spaces accessible, but also raising awareness about disability and sensory accessibility in contemporary society. Please join me in welcoming Royal Museum of Fine Arts, Antwerp, Belgium on stage.
Trying to wash away all the blood I've spilled. This loss is a burden that we both share. Two sinners can atone from a lone prayer. Souls tied, intertwined by pride and guilt. There's darkness in the distance.
Gonzalo. Shall we hand it more prizes? I think so. Let's continue with the Maverick Prize for Environmental Sustainability. Today, more than ever, there's an urgent need for action to protect and save our planet. We all witness the gravity of climate change and the destruction of our natural world. The wide-ranging implications become more obvious and directly impact our daily lives. Museums are increasingly called to reflect on and address these urgent issues and do whatever they can to safeguard future generations. Maverick has been a long-standing supporter of sustainability matters, and we will now hear from our representative and EMF and EMYA partner, the founder and sponsor of the Maverick Prize. Please welcome Mr. Stijn Verstraete.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Maverick, it's an honor to be here on this stage tonight in the wonderful city of Portimão with a beautiful weather. I come from the cold and rainy Belgium, so what a difference. I would like to thank the organizers, of course, for the exceptional event. They organized also the city of Portimão to host us here tonight. With Maverick, we develop, we produce, and we install display case solutions all over the world at our clients, Museu. Our goal is to present, to preserve, and to protect the global artwork and heritage for our future generations. Sustainability is at the core of Maverick's focus. One of our 4 values is care. We care for our customers, we care for our people, the community, and we care for the environment. So we aim to contribute to a sustainable future for our children and help them to limit the current climate changes and challenges that we are all facing. It's a real pleasure to be here with such a group of passionate and committed people united here tonight. Maverick has the honor to hand out the Sustainability Award excuse me, for 2024. It's the smallest award that you see on the left side, but it's made out of recycled material and 3D printed, so we had to do that. Having seen all the nominees, I think the jury must have had a very hard time, so the result is here. I also don't know who it is. So, the winner is a museum that uses its collections, educational programs, and a beautiful vegetable and spice garden to address today's and tomorrow's societal challenges, including food traditions, building a shared understanding of food inequality, and living together in challenging and environmentally minded times. Its commitment to environmental sustainability sustains how it works with different audiences, fosters responsible consumption, and provides its communication with a historical and positive outlook on the changes in technology and approaches to recycling and sustainability over the decades. The winner is Museum of the Home from London, United Kingdom.
Congratulations, Museum of the Home, wow. We are continuing with the Siletto Prize for Community Participation and Engagement, a prize close to my heart. The Sileto Trust is another long-standing partner and important supporter of EMF and EMYA. For that, we are of course very grateful. The Sileto Prize is an important element among the EMYA prizes. As the voice for democratic heritage processes is growing in society, so do the obligations for museums to challenge us to meet the growing needs and expectations of the communities. This includes expectations of direct involvement in all aspects of the museum. Working with people is labor-intensive, but a necessary step for the future of museums. An applause while I invite Carol Jackson of the Sileto Trust to the stage.
It is always a great privilege and pleasure to be here to give out this award. I would like to congratulate all of you attending this EMYA. You are all winners just by being here together and having the opportunity once again to make connections, listen to other museums and their aspirations, and take away what you need to help your institution flourish. The Sileto Prize has been given annually since 2009, and our winners have been varied in size, location, country, and narrative. What they all have in common is a real ability to work with their communities, to listen and engage with the local people in ways that value those communities, giving a sense of belonging. Our winners have been role models for others to follow. It is very interesting to see how this work has continued and developed over time. And we, in particular, do like to hear how the prize has affected their work and supported them and maybe given them more of a status within their own country, or given them the opportunity to really develop and be courageous about how they proceed. We are very, very pleased to be able to support that type of work. Involving the community in change and development was exactly the role that my father, Reginald Sileto, took up as chair of the Friends of Manx National Heritage in the Isle of Man, a post he held for 20 years. His legacy is the Sileto Prize. The prize itself is a pewter basket created by the Art Nouveau designer Archibald Knox. Knox was born in the Isle of Man and later was recognized as one of the foremost designers of the arts and crafts period, producing beautiful pieces for Liberties of London. I hope the winner of this year's Sileto Prize will enjoy this piece as much as we do, and that it will help them to continue their excellent work. Now, the moment of truth. This small, community-driven city museum empowers its citizens by actively listening, enabling, and caring. Its core values and mission respond to the needs of its community partners. Residents and visitors are encouraged to participate in or initiate new events, exhibitions, tours. This means it is a museum of action that constantly changes. It acts for and with people, and the quantity and originality of projects proposed to or by residents and co-created with a small museum staff is remarkable. And the winner of the Sileto Prize 2024 goes to the Kalamaha Museum, Callan, Estonia.
Aita, thank you so much. We are so grateful from the bottom of our hearts. Kalamaja Museum has been created as a home. It has been created from the bottom of our hearts from the first moment in 2018. And I think for us all, it has never been a job or a work. It has been a lifestyle, a choice, and we have tried to live it as fully as possible with every cell in our body and all the passion that we carry within us. And I assure you that Kalamaja Museum is never ready. It will be created every day. We will start anew, and to sum it up, we are all waiting for you in Kalamaja, in Tallinn, so please welcome. We are so grateful. Aitäh. Obrigada. And sorry, of course, I forgot to mention the most important. We are so grateful to the local people who have given us the chance to share their stories, and I hope they continue to do so. It has been an honor.
Congratulations, Kalamaja Museum. We will now go to the Portimão Museum Prize for Welcoming, Inclusion and Belonging. As you might know already, Portimão is home to the European Museum Forum. It's where we have our office and archives. And after experiencing your stay in the past few days, I'm sure you join me in not being surprised that the next prize is named after Portimão, which is so welcoming and embodies the values of the next prize. As all areas of the world grow increasingly interdependent and intertwined, and as Europe grows increasingly diverse, museums' obligation to include and welcome all visitors across all differences in background increase correspondingly. So to present this year's Portimão Prize, please join me in welcoming Isabel Suarez, Director of the Museum of Portimão, Álvaro Vila, Mayor of Portimão, and José Gameiro, Scientific Director of the Museum of Portimão.
Good evening, everyone. Muito boa tarde. O Prémio Museu de Portimão pretende reconhecer o museu de entre os candidatos ao EMYA o melhor acolhedor e aquele que dá primazia aos seus visitantes, não só em saber receber, mas também na inclusão inerente em facilitar o acesso aos seus conteúdos à maior abrangência de público possível. O cruzamento de culturas ao longo da sua história tornou Portimão num símbolo de acolhimento, sendo o nosso museu um exemplo disso. E este prémio pretende, dentro desse espírito, promover as melhores práticas de acolhimento, integração e pertença. Vamos então ver quem ganhou. Este museu acolhe uma variedade de atividades educativas e culturais para reunir a sua comunidade e promover um sentido partilhado de história, património industrial e sustentabilidade ambiental. É um local particularmente acolhedor, dinâmico e envolvente, que traz com que os visitantes se sintam em casa, ouvidos e valorizados. Foi muito impressionante envolver todos os membros da comunidade local, não só na criação do museu, mas também no seu desenvolvimento contínuo. Este é um lugar cheio de coração, humildade e vontade predominante de fazer a diferença.
So, good evening. Oh, I don't. So, the Portimão Museum Prize goes to Salt Museum, Greece.
I don't speak English. I forgot everything. Oh, thank you, thank you. I can't believe this. Marco. It's a great gift for my husband, Nikos Kordosis, because all his life is dedicated to a museum. It's not the Salt Museum. The Salt Museum is the child of the Exodus, an historical museum. He gave all his money, and he gives all his money for this without asking anything, just a small thanks sometimes. Αντιλαμβάνεσαι ότι μιλάω για σένα. And the Salt Museum became because of his love for the environment, the love for Salina, for salt, for his town. And of course, he loves all the people of Mesologi more than me. Thank you very much. Thank you all. I don't believe this. Matthew.
So there's a lot of hugging there in backstage at the moment. So thank you, Ms. Suarez, Mr. Villa, and Mr. Gamero. And congratulations to the Salt Museum. So now it's already time for the next one. We have to speed good in it, no? So this time, another special award. This award of EMYA was created in honor of the founder of the European Museum Forum, Mr. Kenneth Hudson. It is the only prize decided by the EMF board. I therefore welcome back to the stage our chair, Joan Rauca, to present the Kenneth Hudson Award.
Kenneth Hudson. Yes, our founder, a person that many people knows because he did a lot for museums. But today, I would like to just have a look at how did he arrive to the conclusion that museums plus Europe, justice equal to justice and democracy. Kenneth Hudson lived from 1916 to 1999. And if you look at his many books, I'm not going to quote all of them, don't worry. It's incredible, the evolution in a constellation of ideas which finally were embedded in the idea of museums of influence and in the idea of working with the Council of Europe. 1950s, after the Second World War. He began, which was, and is very important in the school and for all of us, English letter writers, a book. Shakespeare and the classroom. And then, in the 60s, he went from the words to the big spaces which were creating, at that moment, Europe. A handbook for industrial archaeologists. Industry was alive, but he began to think that we had to take care of history and memory of industry. And then 1968, Men and Women, Feminism and Anti-Feminism Today. 1968, not 2018, more than half a century ago. And in the 70s, he continued with the place of women in society. Women. Towards a welfare state. Society. A social history of museums, from society to the museums. And again, the industrial history of Europe. So he was creating a constellation about the contemporary world, but be careful. He never forgot to put it into the long run. 1978, exploring cathedrals. But in the same year, food, clothes, and shelter. The everyday life and the right to the history of art creation for everybody, link it, and here comes the language again. The language of modern politics. It's incredible how to combine the different layers of thought, of knowledge, and of beauty. And then, yes, he went to the Council of Europe, thinking that, after all, he had to put the idea of museums in the general frame of the European institutions and human rights. In 1987, he wrote our most known book from him, Museums of Influence. And my last quotation, in 1992, Museums, Treasures or Tools, published by the Council of Europe. It's not easy to have a biography which is really a point of view on the whole world. So, this year, the Kenneth Hudson Award I read what he has stated. As you know, this is an award that is given by the Board of Trustees, always with the opinion of the judges. The 2024 Kenneth Hudson Award for institutional courage and professional integrity goes to an individual who has been the driving force behind numerous initiatives to safeguard museums and heritage sites across Ukraine. Emotion. By mobilizing resources and expertise to protect priceless artifacts and historical landmarks. Through strategic guidance and collaborative efforts, this individual has worked tirelessly to document, digitalize, and preserve cultural heritage in areas ravaged by the conflict, and to promote the idea of the integral role of cultural heritage in fostering resilience and healing. His unwavering commitment to preserving Ukraine's cultural legacy amidst the ravages of war embodies a spirit of resilience and hope that will inspire future generations. Ihor Poshivailo, Director General of the Excuse me, I want to finish. So, I had not finished. Kenneth Hudson would have been very happy to know that the award goes to Igor Poshivailo, Director General of the National Memorial to the Heavenly 100 Heroes and Revolution of Dignity Museum, Maidan Museum.
Thank you.
Can I say a few words?
Yes, of course. Let's go.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much. For me, it's a big honor, and I understand that this award is going not to me, but to all of my colleagues, and there are thousands of them who really devote their life, sometimes risk their life, for protection of cultural heritage in Ukraine. And it's kind of the feeling of international support towards what we are doing in Ukraine. This is the best award and reward for Ukrainian cultural heritage professionals, artists, soldiers, volunteers, all those people who would like protect and bring Ukrainian cultural heritage to the rest of the world, to help other European nations, a part of which Ukraine is for many centuries, but still political, maybe not, but I hope very soon, to rediscover our ancient traditions, our cultural heritage, and our very devoted people. And we understand that this war is not only for territory, for political ambitions or resources. This war is for identity, for cultural heritage, and this war is the war between autocracy and democracy. So thank you so much for this award, and this award is really for a big community of Ukrainian cultural protection people and sector. Thank you. Thank you so much, but I should mention that some of our colleagues already passed away in attempts to protect the museum collections. And we had one case when one museum director was preparing her collection for evacuation, and at this moment the Russian missile touched the museum, and she was killed, and her deputy director was killed. So it's really very, very honorable for us, and this is also commemoration to those Ukrainian cultural heritage protector, people who already sacrificed their life for heritage. Thank you.
Congratulations, Igor. We're now coming up to the last award of the night, the coveted European Museum of the Year Award 2024.
This award has also been given out every year since 1977. It represents an inspiring or aspiring museum, new or recently redeveloped, reinvented, across disciplines and scale, funding and obligations, and across the various cultural contexts of Europe.
The EMYA represents a museum that invites us all to consider what the future of museums might be. And so let us call to the stage again our EMYA chair, Amia Kavak, who will give the last prize of today's ceremony.
So this is a long-anticipated moment of culmination of not just tonight's event or of the conference, but of a year-long journey and an effort of all of you nominees for EMYA 2024 and EMYA jury, of course. So as the value and potential of culture for fostering citizenship, political empowerment, and resilience in the face of challenges gain greater acknowledgement, the public quality of each museum and its contribution to a society becomes increasingly significant. This year's EMYA award winner is a museum that distinguishes itself by enabling ethical participation and inclusive conservation practices. The museum has shown excellence in its open, participatory, and transparent integration process, which creates new opportunities for local communities and the broader population to link past and present. It effectively equips citizens to understand cultural dialogue and provides professional leadership in bridging cultures through ethical restitution and reparations in culture and heritage. EMYA 24 goes to Sami Museum.
Oh my God. Thank you. I was standing here 2 days ago and I felt my heart pumping, but I couldn't believe that it's happening again. Oh my God. But of course, thank you for the EMYA jury, the European Museum Forum, the city of Portimão, and ICOM Finland. We are very pleased that the renewal of SIDA and our diverse work for the Sami cultural heritage has been recognized on the European scale. Sami Museum SIDA as an indigenous museum is primarily for the Sami themselves, but we are extremely happy about how our own Sami story touches the entire European museum sector and people around the world. And thank you for all encouraging discussions with you, our museum colleagues, here during the EMYA conference. Those discussions, you must believe, they mean a lot to us. We are very thankful for all the discussions we have had. But first of all, the credit for this award truly belongs to the entire Sami community. And that's why I want to give my greetings to my people, to Sápmi, Samiland. Mi häälidit kiihtit olle Saami servotaka tan palkkasumi outtas. We hope that this award also gives us strength to continue the important repatriation work for our community. For this work, we need the support of the entire European museum sector, all of you, so that our ancestors' artifacts return home to Sápmi. Special thanks naturally go to the staff of Sámi Museum Sida. Some of my colleagues are watching this ceremony thousands kilometers away in Sápmi. You have worked hard and big hearts for the good of the entire Sámi people. You have to be proud of your work. And finally, I want to thank all the elders of Sámi communities who have supported our work at the museum with their knowledge and skills. I also thank our ancestors for the support, love and strength we have received from them. Ollu kiihtu, takka, spaseb, thank you. CSV.
Wow. Woo woo!
Hey.
A big congratulations to the Sámi Museum Sida. A big congratulations to all winners tonight. We would like now to invite all the winners back to the stage for one final picture. And I would like to ask the audience for a final huge round of applause.
Let's all gather here.
Oh, be careful.
A big congratulations to all the winners. We want to thank everyone, of course our sponsors and partners for making tonight possible, and our big thanks to all participants, the 50 participating museums from this year, and especially all of you who are here with us tonight in Portimão and online as well. It's been fantastic, and we hope to see you all next year. Thank you very much.
So let us also get a selfie.
Take as many pictures, we need them. Yeah, let's go.
Come closer, come closer.
Okay. That's good.
Thank you so much.
So now let's take the festivities to the gala dinner, and the buses are waiting for us outside. We can now all go and continue the festivities. And there are also some tubes to put their certificates in outside. Thank you.
Thank you.
Super.